Hey everybody, I'm going to spend a couple minutes here breaking down how I write polling cues for aerial acts as a rigger. Hopefully this will help anybody that is working on a similar type project. So we're going to start here with a video of an aerialist doing her act that they've sent me. So already I know what I need to do. We've seen the first cue. It's where do the straps start? Where does the apparatus start? That's the main thing that we're looking at, and it's going to be at the ankles. So open up a new project in Photoshop, make it the size of a regular piece of paper, and now I want to get an image of, well, I don't really need an image for this one. So let's see. We're going to name this one, and we should put the page number here eventually. But we're going to name this with the performer's name and the apparatus they're on, because you don't always, sometimes it's not clear, or you can forget, or it can get weird, especially when you have a bunch of these in your pocket. So it's very important to write the person's name on. So I start with start, and then I put where some part of the apparatus starts. So I'll use like the bottom bar of a lira or the bottom of the loops on the straps. So here the loops are at the performer's ankles. So I say start at ankles. Now the performer is going to get into, well, here I am just checking my OBS. All right, so the performer is going to get into position and position the straps underneath their armpits. So here I'm trying to pick out the exact moment when it's super clear in the video of what's going on, and then I'm going to like print screen on my computer and highlight the area. It's important to at least capture some of the apparatus so you can get an idea of what direction the straps are going, or like the silks, or the span set on a lira, or many other things. So then I just hit paste on Photoshop and I make the image a little bit bigger. Luckily, with like artificial intelligence now, you can make images bigger and it just fills in the pixels. It used to be that when you would blow something up like this, it would become all fuzzy, but that no longer happens. Technology is really amazing. There's also, speaking of AI, there's also a new technology where you just have to do, I guess, select subject, right? And it just uses artificial intelligence again to sort of select where it thinks the subject of your image is, and here's the aerialist. One great thing about this video is that it has a black background and like stage lighting, so the AI has a really easy time here. You often have to clean it up with little tools. You'll see me doing this later on. I'll sort of skip through this process because it gets a little bit repetitive, but just so you get an idea of what I'm doing, just to get a rough outline of the performer. And again, you want to, it's really about an outline because you'll be viewing this from a couple feet away when you do it. So here I'm just gonna copy and paste and then select the back layer and delete it, so I just have just the outline image of the performer. I'll position it on the page. I like it on the right hand side, and I'll put my instructions on the left. This is going to be what I consider a reposition. So we're putting the loops under, the armpits of the performer is really what we're doing. Basically, know that other people will see the sheet of paper, so don't use like language that you would be happy with everyone hearing. Armpits isn't the coolest, but whatever. Alright, we're watching the video again. Looks like the music starts and the performer needs to be pulled up. Pretty standard start for an aerial act. Like nothing mind blowing here. Music starts, you start. Alright. Nice little drop. So this is interesting. It's important that the point that we pick the performer up to is an exact height because they're going to drop down to their feet. When it's something like this, it's important that you make a note of it if you notice it. So one thing you'll notice is that I leave a lot of room in between the text so that later on I can come in with a pen and make additional notes. But here I'm just, I guess I'm just trying to find the right language to what I want to call this, because it is really all about what makes sense in my mind for what it is, for what's going on. So we're just going to make a note here about we want to stop pulling when the performer is at their full extension height. How will we know this? The best way to do it is to, on the day with the performer, make a mark with a small piece of gaffer's tape on the rope where you're going to grab it when it's at that exact height, when it's at what I call the full extension height. So now we're going to go back to the video and just sort of try to find the perfect spot in the video where the performer, what we want is something that will tell us, that can visually show us where the performer needs to be in space. Yeah, so it looks like this one could work for me. So again, I'm going to just do a print screen and make sure that I get the performer and part of the apparatus again. Here I also want to get the floor because I want to be able to indicate that the performer needs to be above the floor. Again, I'm just going to speed up a lot of this straight up Photoshop editing stuff just because it gets a little bit repetitive. But basically, it's all about trying to use artificial intelligence to speed up the process and make everything as clean as possible without taking way too long. Here I am trying to add sort of a floor level to indicate how far the performer needs to be off the floor. This is sort of a unique thing that I'm using just for this picture. Alright, so it looks like we got that set. So now we're just going to go back into the video and see what happens next. Drop down our full extension height. Twist, spin, spin, foot leaves the ground. That's the signal. And it's up, exactly. Okay, so we're going up on spin. So basically, as soon as the performer feels comfortable and centered, quote unquote, in their spin, they're going to lift their foot. That lifting of the foot is the visual indication that they want to go up. This is very, very common and like almost a universal language with aerialists. So again, we're just going to find exactly the right frame that can give me like just a reminder of what the performer is going to look like in this particular spin. But up on spin, that's what we're doing here. Something kind of interesting about placement. I'm really just trying to fit everything on the page in a way that kind of makes sense. So here we are. We're pretty much done with page 1. So I just sort of name it the name of the performer and 1. Start a new page. Go back to the video. Up on spin. Alright, beautiful invert splits. Just I've got a knee hang thing going. Waiting for some sort of indication that they want to go down. The spin is still pretty strong. Beautiful split. There it is. That's the signal. Pointing at the ground. Literally pointing at the ground is what they want to do. So, I mean, this is a super straightforward, obvious signal that, Mikey, I want to go down. Or, they're telling you they want to go down. So this should be super easy to remember, but it's still important to do all the steps and like take the image and make the note, because in the moment so much stuff is going on that you can forget things that seem super obvious when you're watching a video like this. Alright, so that's our first down cue. It's down on splits plus a point. There are many splits in that first sequence. They're mostly inverted, but it's important to make the note splits plus a point. Alright, what do we have here? Okay, so we bring them down very low, and then it looks like the performer is going to spin themselves with their hands while in a full split. Pretty great. So we're going to take a picture with the print screen again. Go back into Photoshop. Control V for paste. We're going to select the subject and just cut out everything. One more time. And there we have the performer will use their hands to spin. This should be pretty cool. So we'll lower them down to just above the ground where they can easily reach. Allow them to take a couple turns, and then as soon as you're spinning, up on spin. Spin means up. Alright. Let's see what else happens next. I could make an image for this. Up on the spin after the hand thing. Wow, okay, so that's actually really important. That's an amazing drop. I love it. I love the drama and everything, but I should really make a note on the paper even that the foot comes out during the drop. Because, yeah, it feels unexpected, and that is exactly why it's so cool. But yeah, I don't want to for a second be surprised. So yeah, I'm going to make a note that the foot comes out. But yeah, it's just amazing. I love it. I cannot wait to see it live. Alright, that's exciting. Let's see what else we got. Alright. Going to a super strong spin. So fast. Love it. Break the spin. Go into figure four, and again, almost pointing at the ground. This is so helpful when an aerialist can like work this into their choreography where it still feels natural. But this is like an obvious signal to me. Even if we had never met and I didn't have the ability to view a video of them, I would get the feeling like, oh, they're pointing at the ground. They want to go down. I would have that feeling looking at this act, like for the first time, just blind. So kudos. This is super helpful. But yeah, so I would call this like a figure four with the legs. Not totally sure. It's a great pose. Often you just have to make up the name of the pose. There's no real set standardized thing or naming system for all these things. Or I guess really there's many is the problem. So yeah, just just name it whatever you want and sort of discuss it with the aerialists. And if they mention like, oh, that's a weird thing to call it, just cross it out and name it whatever they call it. That's very important because, yeah, you want to use the same language as the performer when talking about their moves. All right, down on figure 4 with the legs. Spin, breaks the spin, straight into the figure 4. Start going down. Simple. I guess just to give myself a little bit more figure 4 legs and pointing at ground. I noticed that sort of pointing at ground. I don't know. If I noticed it before, maybe I'll notice it again. Alright, let's get back to it. What do you got for us? What we got? All the way to the ground. Torso on the ground, back on the ground. Performer will unlock their foot. Alright, this warrants a new page, I think. Or can I fit it here? Yeah, this will be okay. Alright, a little repositioning, but we're good. And that means we're pretty much done with page 2, so open up a new project, start page 3. Alright, see what happens. Looks like they adjusted the little keeper. Wrap up both hands. We're lifting during this wrap up. Now we're at full extension. Okay, no, it's just full up. So it's just a gradual up from the ground position. We're going to go into some beats. Beautiful. Wow. Strong. Okay, so that's sort of like a straddle, split. That's the down. Okay. Good. Again, we're going to try to capture the best image of this. Honestly, like I'm sort of at the exact wrong angle for this shape, where it's going to be hard to capture the second lay. You can see it, right? So, yeah, whatever. Just in times like this, just whatever you have, just do that. Like try to get the best version of you can. And it's all about reminding yourself of when you saw this video. Meaning the video of the performer. It occurs to me when I'm editing this that I probably should have put the cue in to start raising the strap loops as the performer starts to re-lock in. For some reason I didn't write that down. I'm going to go back and do that in a bit. But yeah, magic editing. I'm so happy that I got a second look at this. Alright, performer comes down. One hand still locked in. Up on spin, the classic. This is a full extension spin. One-handed. One arm. So strong. Wow. Look at those lines. Amazing. Alright, so we're just gonna, again, capture the photo. Just get a good outline. We want the silhouette, really. That's what's so great about this black background. I just love it. This is just a perfect video. And really a perfect act to like show a bunch of this stuff. The classic up on spin. Alright. Notice that this one's a little bit different than our original up on spin that was a two-hander. Here we have a one-handed spin. Nice. Up. vertical splits pointing at the ground. Beautiful. Okay. So let's find the right pose. Horizontal, nice. We have like a clear delineation of what's going on, where it's like easy to tell and sort of a silhouette. Now, this is a great one. All right. Vertical splits. Down on vertical splits. Okay, up on spin, down on vertical splits. That makes it easy. That's also sort of a fast up and down compared to the others. Something to think about. Alright, where are we going? Down, all the way to the ground. Performer pulls the straps, almost said silks, pulls the straps and unlocks. So we're just going to put a little note in here, all the way to the ground. Just to remind myself. I don't know. Sometimes it helps. Also, again, as you can see, always leave space in between the cues so that you can make notes on the day just with a pen. Very important to be able to do that, because this is just your interpretation of their act. So you could be totally wrong. You could be reading the wrong signals, or there's so many different things that could happen. So basically, just be ready for it to be different. All right, we got our performer unlocks the loops and wraps them around their torso. Okay. All right, got a little slither action, and right there, that's it. Okay, so as soon as the performer is laying flat on their back, I imagine it's when they turn sideways to the crowd. That's the signal that I'm ready to go up. On their back, one knee up is what I'm seeing. So let's get this picture and then add it into the next one. And again, I probably don't need the whole straps in the picture that I'm going to move over there. I do want as big an image as possible, just in case the magic AI doesn't fill in the right pixels. I don't know. I guess I'm old. All right, so we're done with page 3. Something to think about is straps acts, or strap loops acts like this, tend to have a lot of cues, more than any other type of act I've found. And they have to be precise. But it can be super rewarding, and overall I prefer it. Like, I like to be more active than not. But yeah, we're on page 4 right now. Okay, let's see. We got a neck hang. Beautiful. Going into some splits. Little spin. What we got here? I see some walking legs. Normally I'd say that means down. But here we are, the hands sort of caressing the hips and then shooting down. But it's also the ending of the music, obviously. It looks like our performer was just waiting for the end right there. Oh, beautiful. Just amazing. That is such a good act. I cannot wait. All right. So let's just try to get the right photo for this last image. Perfect. Amazing. Extended arms. I love it. This is great. We got the neck hang. It's a pretty long neck hang, actually, too. Cool. All right. Copy and paste. just watching the sequence again because I feel like maybe I'm missing some sort of signal or something. But you know, the visual signals, I think it's just at the end of the music is when they go down, which is hard, right? Because I'm not always as familiar with everyone's music. I mean, obviously as they are, but as I should be, really. And musicality is a big part of this. So, oh yeah, I'm just gonna on this one just sort of be aware when the song's about to end, and say down on arms and legs down. It's not the best description of the position, but I'm sure it'll do. All right, so that's pretty much it. Um, End with a big end, sort of like a French film, right? Um, yeah, go through it, write all the cues, save our last document. Then we're going to print it up. Remember, when I print these, it's going to be in black and white, so you might have to mess with the contrast eventually once you print it. Print two copies, right? And keep one in your bag or case or somewhere else just in case you lose the one that you have on you. Um, yeah. Bring tape with you so you can tape it up, like in your eye line between you and the aerialist. I often bring a little light so I can light it up because theaters are dark. So I found these to be super helpful. They're based on sort of stick figure drawings that I've seen other riggers use, and it's been extremely helpful during my career to do something like this. Just to have the notes is so helpful. Um, Hopefully, watching my process can help you just think about how to break down an act and sort of give you a language to use. So, good luck out there. All right, thanks. And I definitely went back and fixed that problem with the reposition that I did not put in. I need to pull the performer all the way up from their position on the ground as they reposition the straps onto the wrists. And then I fold them to the full height that we have available or the highest that they want to go. I'm going to remember. All right, bye.